So first,
Absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So, sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast with video for Patreon. Which, if you're interested, go join our Patreon. We have fun stuff on there. I know I'm not supposed to plug it yet. That's out of the ordinary for me. But I was feeling it. It seemed like the right thing to do.
Just off the cuff tonight. It's like we've never done
merch.
This before.
I don't want to forget the merch. We have merch if you're interested.
I'm wearing it. So if
She's
you're
wearing
watching,
it. I'm not. But
that's okay. That's a cute sweatshirt though.
Thanks. It says New York, and I know it's like I don't like lame to wear merch from your own city.
I don't think so.
My friend and I got it for my birthday, and it was cute, and she matches me.
I don't think it's lame. I think you can get lame merch from your own city, but I don't think that is lame.
Do you ever think about for like sports, we just like buy people's shirts with their other names on them?
We make jerseys with our names on it that other people can buy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hilarious. So like with your friends, decide if you're the Meredith or the Alicia, and then buy that jersey.
Wait.
Oh my God, mine would tank. Mine would
Why
tank.
do I want a jersey with my own name on it?
Mine would tank. No one's the Alicia. Unhinged.
That's not true.
Full of questions. Okay. Also, you know what? We're a little off topic, but that's okay because guess what? That's who we are. Anyway, we also have an Instagram and a TikTok along with our Patreon. You should go check those out. All of it is linked in our descriptions. Also, rate, review, subscribe. I don't think you guys know this, but we will totally read them live on the podcast if you would just leave one. So
very true.
You're welcome to that. We prefer nice, but we'll take mean too. It's okay. We love a 5-star roast.
We know that we're mean, so I guess that we should be able to take it too.
That's what I'm gonna call a 5-star roast. Give us 5 stars and just read us filthy.
Okay.
I would love it.
But also if you do love us, come counteract the roasting.
I guess you can be nice. As long as it's 5 stars, I don't care what you write.
Very true.
Well, the bar is low. Anyway, let's just get straight into it, Meredith, because we have some stuff to hit on. Let's do our small celebrations of the week where we talk about a small thing that happened. Well, it could be big or small, but anything we want to celebrate because we think everything is worth celebrating.
We will make everything big.
It's what helps us get out of our depression episodes. So, Meredith, what's your small celebration?
I finally picked up my dry cleaning after 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks? What were you doing?
Here's my problem. They're closed on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and I have traveled 2 of the weekends.
Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays.
So Wednesday,
and then by Friday
Wednesday is basically the only day, and then I forget about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Would you get dry cleaned?
My dress from a wedding. I spilt the pasta from a little bit of pasta from the dinner on my dress.
Way to waste pasta, Meredith.
It's okay. It was just a little bit of sauce, not the actual pasta.
Oh, then that's fine.
Yeah. But it was a mint colored dress.
No noodle was lost.
No noodles were lost in the process. Just a little splash of sauce on a mint colored dress.
I was just talking to someone today about how I would love to live in Italy, and honestly, 90% of it is just to eat pasta every day.
I really hope the girl whose wedding it is doesn't listen to this, but the pasta wasn't good enough for me to even spill it.
Can I ask a question? Was it red sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't. Here's my theory. You can only get red sauce if you're gonna make it at home.
It has to be made really well.
Out at a restaurant, any kind of marinara doesn't taste good. And I call it red sauce because sometimes it's so trash. I don't even want to call it marinara.
There are places I know I could get it and it will be good. It won't be amazing unless I'm in Italy, let's be honest. But I could get good red sauce. But here in Chicago, and in St. Louis, I could get good red sauce. But this wedding was in Memphis.
Not at a
so
wedding.
like
Wedding food's
why?
already terrible.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm bashing this girl's wedding, and it wasn't about that. It's just that I finally picked up my dress.
But Meredith, it's about the pasta.
It'll always be
It's always
about the pasta.
it's about the pasta.
Man, now I want
May I ask
pasta.
what your favorite type of pasta is? If you could only eat one
Like
type of pasta.
noodle, sauce, combo.
Do combo.
Okay, if it's summer, I really love a shrimp scampi because it's really light and refreshing. I also love a spicy penne al vodka, but it has to be spicy.
Ooh,
But
that's good.
But like also a gnocchi is one of my favorite. Like any gnocchi dish on the
Oh,
menu,
gnocchi.
I'm in.
You want to hear something stupid?
Yes,
My
and no.
dad, who claims to be 100% Italian, but let's be honest, he's Italian American. He calls gnocchi. Oh my god, it's gonna
Gnocchi?
pain me
Or
to say. No,
Does he say the G?
he says gnocchi,
No.
and he goes, "My mom, who is 100% Italian, used to say it that way," and I go, "Gnocchi?
No,
Go
she
to
was.
Italy and order the gnocchi.
Yeah.
I dare."
They'll knock on
Do
your
it.
little head and say you're a
Do
little
it.
idiot.
It happened one time at a restaurant in Boston, and he was like, "I'll take the gnocchi," and I go, "What the fuck do you what?" And he goes,
Oh my
"The
god.
gnocchi," and I go, "Please point on the menu to what you're talking about." And so, I would just like to say that there are idiots everywhere, including my own father. The gnocchi.
The
I
Italian.
went gnocchi.
Oh my
Anything
god.
is better than
The
saying gnocchi.
gnocchi. Yeah.
Say gnocchi for all I care. Don't say gnocchi. Talk about an ick. Just kidding.
What's your small celebration?
Wait, first, can I share my favorite kind of pasta?
Oh, yes. So sorry. I already forgot that I said mine. We just went down the gnocchi
No.
rabbit hole.
That's okay. I would want a classic cacio e pepe. Now, I know it's usually made with, I think it's tonarelli or something like that, but any kind of long noodle, like the
Yeah.
thin, but it's better than spaghetti because it's a little thicker, that thick
I agree.
circle noodle. But I'm in my cacio e pepe era.
It's really creamy too. I actually prefer white sauces more than red sauces typically.
Same. Me too.
I'm
Unless
glad we're
it's
on the
like
same page.
homemade, like a homemade gravy.
I guess honestly, maybe it's that like white sauces are easier to make somewhat decent. And
Yeah,
red
that's
sauce, I
it.
have a really high bar.
Well, it's easier to just throw cream in something and cheese
And
and
some
be like, it's
Parmesan
good.
cheese together.
Yeah.
And that's delicious no matter what.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
so
we're
true.
gonna stick on the foods for my small celebration. So I'm currently in Canada on a business trip, and I
Ooh.
stole from my office. Oh God, I'm gonna get fired. I stole ketchup chips because I've never had them before, but I remember on Degrassi they ate ketchup chips, and I want to try them.
Yes. Are they the Lay's or the
I think they're Lay's.
Okay. I was gonna say it's
They're
either that or
Lay's
the
ketchup.
Pringles often has that flavor
Ooh.
too.
Yeah, I haven't had any time to really go like shopping around, but I do want to go look at different chip flavors. That's a weird thing, but
No,
I
it's
saw
not.
them in
It's
my
one of my
office.
favorite things to look at when traveling is what flavor chips they have.
Yeah, I saw them in my office and I went, oh, I can't have this for lunch. That's crazy. So I stole a bag and I was like, I'm gonna eat it tonight.
That's not stealing. It's there for your taking.
I know, but stealing just sounds so fun.
That's true.
But I'll never forget. It was the episode, guys, hear me out. The Degrassi episode where Craig oh my, I know Craig was with Pete Wentz from Fallout Boy, and Ellie runs into them and is like, Craig, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm back from tour with Pete Wentz. And Pete Wentz is like, oh, I love ketchup chips. And I remember being like, the fuck is a ketchup chip? And so now I'm gonna eat ketchup
It
chips
is
for
kind
the
of
first time.
shocking we don't have them in the US. Like people love ketchup.
Yeah, but like in chip form. And
I feel
do
like they would sell.
Canadians love ketchup?
I don't think like to the degree that Americans like
Americans love mayo.
And like ranch and I just feel like they love sauces.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good sauce. But yeah, a ketchup chip. This was my small celebration.
Well, by the time I post your small celebration, I want your rating on the chips.
You know what? I'll just post on Instagram.
Yeah, whenever I post when this episode releases.
Yeah. I'll just post.
I'm gonna add in the ratings so everybody go look at our Instagram stories.
Oh, amazing. I'll text you my thoughts. Okay, great. So I'm glad we did that. Meredith, should we talk news?
Yes. I think we have the
Amazing.
same news.
Is it that Kristen Cavallari broke up with her child bride?
Yes, that quote is literally the best that I heard of people talking about it. Somebody, I forget who said it, but somebody was like, I'm so glad she's done with the child bride.
No, literally. So if you didn't know and you were living under a rock, Kristen Cavallari from the hills in Laguna Beach started dating a 24-year-old straight from the University of Montana or something. Or maybe Montana University. Who cares?
It's either University of Montana or Montana State. I don't know which one they actually went to.
It's probably Montana State. But
probably.
And then he moved to Nashville, which is where she lives.
Because
and then
he like skyrocketed in fame for lip singing with his 3 other friends.
Yeah. I ain't calling a mess. That's the song. I'm dying inside. Got my I love girl, I confess. I like what I see. When he goes, I'm leaving.
Whoever cuts their head off or the L symbol.
I love when he cuts his head off and they all stick their tongues out and they go post that video.
Well, if you saw those videos, Kristen's guy is the last guy at the very end who usually lip sings.
Yeah, the guy who has his head in the mess. Or no, he's leaving. The guy who's leaving and not coming back. I'm leaving.
Wait, that's kind of Kristen is now leaving and not coming back.
That's sad. So they were dating and they went on like really elaborate trips. She made it very public with him.
Her kids met him very quickly. No shame, no mom shame in that, but just saying like he was in her life.
She was in his TikToks. I mean,
oh, you're right, because those are equal in their versions of life, is meeting her kids and being in his TikTok.
And then I don't know if everyone remembers this, but she had all the Montana Boyz, there's 3 of them with a Z.
Oh my God.
On her podcast. And I listened to that whole episode. And it was I'm surprised my ears didn't bleed.
Well, I would be shocked if they did
the same.
Yeah, but they all say like 3-word answers.
I loved how most of it was Kristen going like, oh, I bet you guys want to be single and get laid and blah, blah, blah. How do you get girls?
Oh
do girls just DM you?
His friends had to basically like prop him up and be like, no, we love that. But like Mark loves staying at home too. And like being with you.
So awkward. And then he recently was back on her podcast and she said something like, I can't wait till we have babies.
That was like
and
a month ago.
Now they'll never have babies.
Good. Can you imagine being 24 years old?
Oh, go on. I was just going to say, did she announce the breakup at a Call Her Daddy?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Okay, I just saw a clip on TikTok about it, and Kristen was the guest at Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy event, I think this past weekend, and Alex asked about the relationship, and I think Kristen gave like a pause, and so like you could tell something was weird, and Kristen said she wasn't planning on saying anything tonight, and then she was like, we're no longer like seeing each other. Something kind of coy. She didn't go into detail. But she has since come out and said that like she ended things because I think she said this on her podcast then.
Yeah.
Kristen ended things because she wants like Mark to be able to like grow up, not like he's immature, but like have those life experiences. And she's been thinking about how she's changed since she was 24. And I'm like, shouldn't you have thought about this like 8 months ago?
Can I say something kind of controversial?
Go
about
off,
that.
Queen.
Well, first of all, we all know that I didn't think it was going to last, nor did I think they should have even gotten together. That being said, I'd be really pissed if someone broke up with me because I was just like, quote, younger and needed more life experience, unquote. Like, I'd be like, people get married at 24 all the time, and
But do you feel like it's justified from her side? I know how he could be upset.
Yeah, I get where she's coming from, but also to be like, I'm gonna break up with you. It's not me, or it's not you, it's me. That's
It's
basically
not
what
you, it's
she's
your
saying.
age.
Yeah, and like, listen, I get it because I'm not out here dating a 24-year-old in my mid to late 30s either. I
Yeah.
actually don't know how old Kristen is, but I'm
She's
not.
39 and he's 24.
Okay, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that. But because I refuse to date younger than my youngest sister, so that'd be
That's a good,
crazy.
by the way, for everybody, that's 5 years.
Yeah, that's as low as I
Even that,
go.
I don't think you would date 5 years younger than, I don't think you would date a Mark Estes.
I mean, that's more than 5 years.
No, he's 24.
And she's 39. Oh, like if
I'm
I
saying
dated
your
him,
age. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how old he is. If he's lip syncing on the internet for money, that's just not my man. Because I can't not get the ick from you. Okay, anyway. Um, but I would be
Sorry.
kind of pit. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. There's something so she could have easily said, like, he's 24, I'm not. It's just it's not gonna work, and I see that. Like, great. I agree with you. But that because she's like, it is not gonna work because he needs to go out and do things, like he needs to slut it up. He doesn't want to, bitch. He's
Yeah.
happy with you.
That's true. My
I'm
thing
letting
is, they
you
should have
free.
just like had a casual relationship. They didn't need to make it so public. And then this would make even more sense. It's like weird that she was all in. They were like, he's my
Yeah.
person. We're gonna have babies together. And now she wants to end things.
She wants him to go have sex with other people.
Yeah, which is like so weird.
It's weird. It's weird because if you're already dating a 24-year-old who lip syncs on the internet for money, I say that again, you don't need this person to grow up. You're okay. You're okay with him. The fact that her
That's
whole
true.
reason is like, what, you just want him to get better at sex? Like, I don't, to
I think
sleep
it's
with
that
maybe he'll sleep with a
I don't
brunette.
think
Who
it's fully
knows?
like
But like,
sex. It's just like life experiences and like being open to anything. It's similar to how well, I guess it isn't this extreme, but I don't think a lot of people should go to like college with a boyfriend. Like you should have, or like a girlfriend. Like you should have all the experiences open to you and like be open to everything. And so I think that's just kind of how she's looking at his move to Nashville now. I know it was 8 months ago and they dated most of it, but like the world is
I
your oyster.
agree to an extent. I really do. But there's something just so weird. I think the only
It's weird that
part,
it's like her call.
it's weird that she's now being like, "Ugh, I just need you to go out and spread your wings." Like it's
Yeah.
not like, yes, you should break up before college, sure. But how weird if the conversation was like, "Oh, you just have so much going for you in college. You need to go experience that."
Does
Like,
it seem one-sided to you, like she's saying this just to him and making the decision?
yeah, but it's also seeming like she didn't want to do this. She did it for him. And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, but like be a little selfish if you want to date this man." I understand in a sense if she was like, if he dates me, he hasn't gone very long without like being a dad ultimately, right? Like now if
Yeah.
he's with me, he gets a ton of responsibility. And I get that. She could have said like, I'm throwing him into this different world, but no, she's basically like, "Ugh, I just want him to learn to be a butterfly from a caterpillar." No, he's fine. He's good.
I wonder if
And
he'll speak
now,
out about it because he hasn't said anything.
well, now we got this horny kid in Nashville. Everyone's going to be pregnant soon.
He is about to be a dad soon, just not with Kristen.
Yeah. So, like, maybe he had said multiple times, his dream girl. Like, he was like, this is it for me. And I understand he's
I
24 and
don't.
stupid.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I understand if she was being scared, but there's just something about being like, oh, just, I'm pushing you out of the nest, birdie. See if you fly. It's so weird. I hate it. This is why you shouldn't date. What's the saying? Half your age plus 7 or something? No, it's not that.
Oh, like divide your own age and plus 7,
Yeah, something like that.
which, yeah, would be like 26, 27 for Kristen.
See, the rule
Didn't
is
pass
half
the
your age
test.
plus what would let's just say I'm 30, half my age 50. Oh my God, 16, 17,
Okay.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 is the youngest I could go. And that's too
That's
young
weird.
already for me.
Yeah.
Because that's Mark coming out of college. As long as he's not lip syncing on the internet for money. That's fine. Have a podcast. Don't lip sync someone else's
Please.
song. Sorry. Anyway.
The same song over and over again was the annoying part. Get a new
Oh
song.
my God. Oh my God. And you were always in the same position. I'm leaving and not coming back. I don't even know who sang. I know nothing about that song besides what they lip sync. I've heard it so many times.
Me too. I don't think I've ever actually heard the full song.
Who sings it?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
No.
do you have more news?
No, I don't. I haven't been keeping my eye out. I've been focused on my own watching.
Honestly, I don't have much news either. Give me a sec. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I have any new. Oh, actually, shut up.
What?
I have news. It's not news,
Wasn't
but
even
I'm
speaking.
I know.
Shut up.
I feel like Regina George and Mean Girls. Shut up. I didn't say anything. I don't watch The Bachelor or any of the franchises, and I still won't. But I want everyone to know there's the cutest little Asian man on The Golden Bachelor. And if he gets sent home, I will honestly kill the Golden Bachelorette if she sends him home.
How did you fall upon him?
Oh, TikTok. Because someone was like, listen, if there's a cute old man in a video, I'm going to watch it. I understand not all cute men are as they seem, but this one looked super cute. I'm trying to find his name. Charles. Okay. So it was a scene where the Golden Bachelorette takes everyone to prom and Charles is the only one not dancing. He's sitting on the side.
Why?
And then he talks about how he really doesn't go out anymore and he only really like loved his wife, but his wife died and his daughters really want him to have a life and have fun, and so they're making him step out of his comfort zone. And then he talks to the Golden Bachelorette, couldn't even tell you her name, and he's basically like, I've only ever been in love with one woman and that's my wife and she's dead, which it's not going to get him to win, but he's
That's
so
not
cute.
True. I don't think that's true because I think a lot of them are dealing with this. They're either dealing with death or divorce.
But then he's like, I've been so sad for so many years and this is the most fun I've had since my wife died. And he's like playing games with her and he's dancing and then he calls his daughters and he's like,
wait, that's
I'm
so
having
cute.
a really fun time.
Oh, wait, Alicia, if he became the next Golden Bachelor, would you watch that season?
Oh my God. If I'm telling you right now, if Charles does anything in the near future, I'm in. I'm a fan. If he sells merch, if he does a meet and greet, I don't care. I love this man, Meredith. He's
I think you
so
should watch
cute.
The Golden Bachelor until for like as long as he's on it.
If he gets sent home, I'll never recover.
Will you lose it?
I don't think I'm strong enough.
People have said The Golden Bachelor is really good. It's like really wholesome.
Yeah, I've heard they're really good. I don't know who the Bachelorette is. I think it has some no. I take that back. The Golden Bachelorette is a blonde woman. I would love if they would have not a white person, but we'll work on it.
I think most of the first cast was white it took them years to cast for the first like Bachelor.
Yeah, they're not great.
To be honest, I think they're just taking whoever they can get.
People of color. This is the one time
I don't think that they're like being purposely racist. I think they are literally taking anybody who will come on it.
Give me an Asian Golden Bachelor and make it Charles. But I think Joey, the Bachelor, the hot Bachelor from on Dancing with the Stars, his fiance's dad, I think, is on it.
I think that or another one of Joey's
friends' dads or something, girls' dads.
Yeah. One of the other contestants. There is a contestant's dad from Joey's season on it. It is either her or like the runner-up because it was one of his final four because it was from the hometowns. People fell in love with this girl's dad.
Oh, amazing!
I do remember that, and I remember seeing on the internet everybody was saying he needed to be on the next season. So
amazing. Well, either he is going to fall in love or become the next Golden Bachelor, but I root the same for Charles.
Okay.
I really think we all need to just how the way we think about Sheena every single day is how instead switch it. Go to Charles. He deserves
Sheena,
it.
take a seat. It's
Sheena,
Charles's turn.
you're not Charles. Anyway, that was my only news. Anyway,
Okay.
what are we doing next? I haven't been reading, so we can't do my
That's
book club,
okay.
but let's do you.
I started reading The Echo of Old Books. I'm not far into it just because I like took forever to actually pick it up. But I just want to tell people I do think this is a great entry book into either reading again or getting reading for the first time because the theme is so hard in like the love of books. It does make me excited to read it just because I feel like I'm this girl's friend and I'm like, we love
Okay.
books. We love books. Like
I
I
would
love her
love
little
to
special power.
tell me. I know you haven't made it far, but like, have you read the books that she's reading?
I started on the first one. I know from your book club and you telling me about it that there are two. I started on the first one.
Okay.
I love her backstory. I mean, I hate that she like had her parents die back to back, but like
Oh
it
my God,
made me
wild, right?
love like her more because I'm like, girly, hold on to these books as tight as you can. They're all you have.
Yeah, no, literally, you have no family or friends. This is all you have.
Even like the guy who owned the store and like his wife have passed. Like you have
Dead.
no one. So sorry, but like thank God you can feel what's in these books.
Yeah.
I really like that first book is like super random and she has like no clue what it
Mhm.
is and it like gets you excited. I knew it had to be the book she read, obviously, but I'm so excited to find out what happens with this couple because this first book is just the drama. Like,
Yeah. The best part is you could sit here and come up with different
list off
scenarios and you'll
everything.
never guess.
I just can't wait.
Mhm.
I just, it's a fascinating concept and
It
I
is.
love when it's like a unique concept because at the end of the day, everything can have a love story and every like book can come up with like, I'm kind of over my rom-coms for a minute and I've like really enjoyed your fantasy Rex. And so like this one, such a unique
It's like a weird
concept.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love too when you end, when you finish it, it feels like you read like because you're reading books through the
Yeah.
book, but you end and you're like, did I read like 12 different stories and it
That's a good
all like
point.
was really beautiful? Oh
I'm
my God.
excited. I'll put my final thoughts because since this is our season finale, I'll finish it before we pick these episodes back up. I'm gonna put my final thoughts in your book club post.
Oh my God, I would
But I'm
love
excited. And I think
book
our
club.
patrons should read it too because I want to actually go deep and talk about it. But I need other people to read it so I can reveal what I think without ruining it.
I'm down for a fun book club Patreon meetup where we discuss this book. If this wants to be our first one, I'll reread it to mix up. I love it. Or to freshen up. I love.
Let's put a
Okay.
poll on Patreon and people can tell us.
I love this book. Okay, cool. Are we watching stuff?
I've watched a lot.
Okay. Tell me about it because I haven't.
Okay, I haven't brought this up in the last few weeks. I have been watching it, and I thought this was the perfect time because this week I call it season 2, even though it's like season like 15 or whatever of RHONY premieres this week. I haven't watched the premiere. I also heard it was like meh. But I did watch all of season 1 and loved it.
Was incredible.
It. Yes, I just think the cast is like really spicy and fun and like they're obviously not at the point where they have all this history where they just fight for some of the same things that happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it is kind of nice to have fresh people. I know a lot of people were upset losing the OGs.
Did new RHONY come out? Like, we were all a little like, why are you getting a new RHONY? But now we're all like...
I wasn't watching RHONY at the end of OG casting. So I just don't feel like I have the same sentiment and like clutch on the old cast. But I went into it with open mind and here are my thoughts on each of the cast members.
Okay.
Brynn is such a firecracker. She's exactly what
she's the one everyone's in love with.
Yes, she is just so funny, so outgoing. Like she's the glue that like I think she stirs the pot in a perfect manner where she's not like bitching about people. She's like sharing information, so it doesn't like blow everything up, but it does keep a nice movement to the like gossip train within the group.
I love it.
Jenna Lyons, protect her at all costs.
Okay.
She is like more timid than I thought she would be, knowing she was like head of J. Crew. And like, how do you be that such, or like that boss ass bitch
Mhm.
in the work field, but then with your friends, she's like nervous and she's never done girls trips, and it's like she was like in a marriage and then came out as a lesbian, and like she just has this journey where I just think she ends up being a little bit more shy in front of people, and I actually find that so sweet. But when she
Oh,
speaks, like she has a lot of purpose. She just isn't like you and I, where we just scream things all the time.
okay. You're right. Okay.
We all need the different
We love Jenna.
variations
We love Jenna.
of like people. Um, okay, and then my last thing, because this is a question for anybody else who watched last season, but there's this girl Jessel, and at the reunion of season 1, again, I have to call them season 1 because to me it's a whole different show.
Yeah, of course.
They talk about how this girl Jessel moved to New York right when casting was happening for this show. And like she did that intentional to like get on the show, but she tries to play it off like she didn't. I think she did this to get on the show, and I find it so weird.
Do you think she works on the show or no?
What do you mean?
Like, is it better that she's on
I
it?
guess because she ends up being the punching bag for a lot of things. So
Ooh,
like
okay.
everybody needs that person.
So was it worth it that
I just
she
wish
came on?
she could pretend like she knew New York a little bit more.
Oh,
She's the girl who
she,
said like Soho is up, or I think it was Soho, is like an up and coming neighborhood. Or I think she said Tribeca. Like Tribeca's an up and coming neighborhood, and the other cast member was like,
I
"It's
do
there,
weirdly
babe.
remember
It's
it.
there."
I do really, I like remember someone saying that and being
Yeah,
like, Tribeca,
it's because she like moved from like California and or Dallas or both.
girly, up and coming.
I know. I just
Okay.
find it weird when like people are so diehard to be on TV
They
that they'll
don't
go
do
to
their
extreme.
research.
Well, that too. Like hide it a
Listen,
little
I
better.
think whatever show you go on, you should know something about.
Yeah.
Like, and especially if there have been prior seasons, right? So
Yeah.
you know what New York
Well, you
is.
know what actually is weird? So the girl Jessel, she lived in New York and like when she was younger, I'll say like college aged or like right after college.
Oh,
So
okay.
she should know New York. I just find her like suspect.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll get out of my house. I'm in a housewives funk. I
I
know.
know.
I
I'm in
know.
deep on the Housewives. I'm like the complete opposite of you right now.
Ugh, I want that. Okay. What else are you watching?
I caught up to The Anonymous after you told me about it last
Amazing.
week because I'm
Amazing.
glad that they switched up the show. Nothing major is happening, but it made me think a lot about strategy. And you and I
Mhm.
always love talking about like the strategy of Big Brother and
Yeah.
Survivor and all because they're all different concepts. So your strategy has to be so different. And
And
it got
every
me to
season is
thinking,
different. Yeah.
what is your what would your strategy be? So I have a few
There's none.
questions.
There's
Well,
none.
I have
Okay.
some questions that like, do you think you should do one thing or the other? Okay.
Okay. Give it to me.
Do you think that you should be keeping people who are consistently safe, like Andy, around when he's never one put up for elimination?
No. I think maybe one, but right now we have, I mean, let's talk consistently safe. Specifically, the people who are nominated and then never go home,
Yeah.
to me, that's a red flag. So
Okay.
Jack, Marcel, Lily, all of them. But then also, if you're not being put up, Veronica, Andy, or Victoria, whatever her name is, Victoria, Andy, like
Nina is rarely put up.
Nina, I don't want anyone to feel safe. So like, though I understand Andy's not a threat, if you let him go to final 3, you never
Yeah.
fucking know.
I know. Like the fact that those people are never put up on the chopping block, Andy especially is like never put up.
Andy and fucking Victoria, those two have not gotten votes.
Victoria's the one that like is in that thing with Christopher, the like showman's, right? Okay.
Yeah. But like, I think that's just it. I would have nominated Andy, I think, just to put someone else in. Because if
Yeah.
I'm also getting nominated, the bigger the pool, I want everyone in
Yes.
that pool with me.
That's the biggest thing. If I'm going down, we're all going down.
Yeah, because let's say like you and I are the only two nominated, and then someone who didn't vote for either of us is the anonymous, has to send one of us home. But if we
Mhm.
get everyone in the pool, the chances of
A bigger
you or
target
I being
also
sent
being in
home,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I
That's what I've
want
been
everyone
thinking.
in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Also, Marcel with his little snake has been really like trying to throw people, and for everybody just listening, I'm putting that in quotes, throw people off his scent by like talking about himself. Do you think that's a
No.
good I mean, it's Marcel's not doing a good job, but do you think that is a good strategy of like trying to show that it is you?
I did at one point, I think when we first started talking about it, I was like, "Oh, talk about yourself." But as we go, I think the best strategy would be not mentioning myself. Like always, I
Yeah.
liked what Jack did where he always had one target. Like when he was always picking on Andy, I thought that was
Yeah.
genius because then if someone else brought up like, "Oh, we have to get out Lily," this random emoji would be like, "And fuck Andy." Like it was
That's
just
so
so
true.
it was funny, but also you had one enemy, and so no one knew who it was because it was your enemy or it was your friend. So you were like making this enemy, and then it was funny too. Like if other people are going off, you don't have to get involved and put like any target on your back. You're just like fuck
Yeah.
Andy.
Like if like Jack's name did get brought up and he brought up Andy, it wouldn't be so sketchy because he always brings up Andy.
Yeah, he would
Like
be
football
like,
always brings up Andy.
yeah, like okay, if I don't know, clown is like, oh, we have to get out Jack. Then football as Jack could be like, yeah, Jack and Andy. And then it's like extra funny too, because you're like,
Yeah.
here's football again, coming for Andy. And no one cares because Andy's not like gonna go home, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny enough where you're gonna put him in and he's gonna freak out, and then that's just one more person for everyone to pick from. So
Okay, I
I
think that's a
think
really good strategy is having one person you're always going
one
to like
target.
go after. I also thought like
Yeah.
Marcel's strategy, but in like slightly pivoted to like trying to come off as a very specific other person, like always sticking up for Lily so people think you are Lily.
Yeah, yeah, that or I would probably avoid talking about myself, but if I was Marcel, I'd want to defend like Nina, like someone Lily is very
Yeah.
openly close to, right? Or
Hmm.
like the girls or something. Like I wouldn't even want my scent to really be brought up.
I guess what it is I think the more consistent you are in whoever you're going after or like supporting, you have to be super consistent in the chat to like
Yeah.
not ruffle feathers or and not it's not ruffle feathers but like not get many people to realize who you are.
Yeah, but it also makes me nervous if like when someone says something like, "Oh, we got to get out Meredith." And then you would be like, "Oh, that emoji's never said my name before." Like you have to throw one person,
Yeah.
one or two, and that's who you fucking stick with.
And to be honest, I think it has to be different from your alliances
Yeah.
to
But
really
someone you're
throw
friendly
people
with.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be the craziest thing. And Andy's I don't know why no one picked up on that. I would have immediately started berating Andy and everyone could have been like, that's football, just a different avatar or whatever, because it's
Yeah.
genius. Andy's not a threat. No one cares about Andy. And it's funny. It's so hilarious to everyone. Like, oh, we got to throw all these other people and Andy. So I'm still participating. So I don't look sketch. I'm just doing
Andy
me.
Andy had a pretty interesting strategy that in this week's episode, which I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know if it's gonna work or
what was it?
not. But he did two things. He really started talking up different avatars and trying to tell people they were different ones. He's like trying to confuse people this week in the like normal in-person version of the game. He's
Oh,
like trying to be like, oh my God, football is Lily. Football definitely is Lily and like trying to convince people of the wrong avatars to
okay.
throw off his lightning scent because I think he knows everybody knows he's lightning.
He's like, lightning's totally fucking Marcel. I don't know why you guys think
Yes.
this snake is.
And then he also, as Lightning, put himself up, up
No,
on the block.
that's dumb. That's dumb. Xavier did the same thing, and I think it's dumb.
He went home, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it's dumb, and I understand the idea of like, they'll never think I put myself up there. I'd immediately be like, you idiot.
I think you
don't.
could in the right setting. I think it is a very big risk, but it could get you anonymous the next week or like this week or next week. But you got to play it right. Like, I think Andy could do it. Xavier couldn't.
I think
Andy's
Andy
not a
could
threat.
maybe do it. I think Andy could do it. I just don't think it's worth doing at this point for Andy because no one's going to send him home.
Well,
like
I will say he doesn't go home. He is fine off of his own.
He's going to be the only person that votes for him. So, like, that's the funny part.
He was.
Yeah. So he put himself in for nothing is my point.
It's like the first time he's been at risk in a long time.
Yeah. Because if it's when someone's like, oh shit, Jack didn't get any votes. Like, how come no one's voting for Jack? No one's doing that with Andy. No one's like, oh shit, Andy's safe again. Everyone's like, yeah, probably. But that's also dangerous because he's going to make it.
I know.
God knows if Andy can figure out the anonymous. He has
Andy
yet to.
could snake to the. I don't know how this game will end. I truly don't understand.
I don't either.
But I think the biggest people at risk of like leaving are always like Jack and Nina, the very out there obvious good players.
Yeah, Marcel, even Dylan.
Marcel is not that good. He is not that good. He's really effing himself up in the anonymous chat.
No, but I think he's at risk. He's at risk because he's trying, and he's good at the physical comps. And I think that's enough for people.
Keep Marcel. Like, we all know what his little avatar is. It's fine. Keep him around at this point.
I thought it was so funny whenever Marcel like picked up a box, he'd be like, yeah, I'm safe. And then he was actually safe. And I'd be like, damn, y'all should talk to Marcel a little more. Y'all should steal his box.
3 for 3. He got 3 safe boxes. He stayed.
I knew it. I knew Chris wasn't going to stay. Chris is gone, right?
No. They went after they tried to get Marcel out.
Oh, and he had the
safe box. Because it was the like unknown who has what box.
Got him.
Yeah.
Got him. Yeah, so like I think Marcel's at risk because I don't think people want him around.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. This is a hard game because some of it's like so anonymous, which is the whole point.
I wish they could group chat some, like how they do in the circle.
Like the circle.
I wish you could have a sub group chat.
No, I kind of like that everything's in the open. Like you can't make an alliance while you're in anonymous mode.
Well, I guess you could, but everybody would have to see you do it. Honestly, that'd be a play.
That'd be funny if
Lipstick, Lightning, and I'm trying to think of somebody else's, and Flamingo. Like we're all voting for Andy, right?
I want to be in an alliance with you. I would say it straight up and do it. Do you want to be in my alliance? Especially like I love when someone's like, I think it was Jack and Lily's avatars. Someone called like Robot Jack, but really it's Lily.
Mm-hmm.
But someone said in the chat and was like, whatever, Jack, and they were cracking up. I think then like Lily as Robot should have been like, hey, Andy, Nina, Lily, we're all voting for like this person, right? To be like, that's my alliance. I'm calling it out. But like, then everyone's like,
you don't want to do that because I think most people would be like, that isn't Jack. Like Jack would never do that.
You know, you're right. But it's extra funny.
I think before you get called out, you have to like try to
do an alliance.
Again, if Andy, like everybody didn't know Andy was Lightning, but he could be like cosplaying as Jack. I think that's what you either have to take on a persona of someone else and really try to convince people that your handle is someone else, or you got to just be like neutral and attack one person.
I want someone else to think I'm like how everyone thinks Robot is Jack.
Lily and Jack are like opposite. Yeah,
I'd be like, I hope, because it's good for both of them and they're both not coming for each other. I'd be like, that's amazing. Go for it. But they don't know. That's the craziest part of this game. It's so weird and good. I don't know what it is. Do you watch anything else?
I did, but what are you watching?
Oh my God. I'm so obsessed with the show. I can't stop thinking about it. It's called Nobody Wants This. It's on
How was
Netflix.
it?
It is for the 2000s teen drama girls in
Really?
our 30s. Yeah. This
I
was
saw you
made for
repost that
us.
that thing this week that was like me 14 years old like in love with, is his name Adam Brody? Is that
Adam
the actor?
Brody's fictional
Yes,
character
and
and
then
me
me
again
at
at
like
34.
34.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I've talked about the OC before. I loved Seth Cohen growing up. I was like,
So did
this man.
I. He's
I
so
thought he
good.
was so funny. I would always ask my mom if we could celebrate Christmaka. Even as a joke, I'd be like, I just want to celebrate Christmaka. I was so in love with him. I thought Adam Brody has like a quip about him that's so good.
Yeah.
And then I saw this and I wanted to watch it, but then I saw like all the reviews starting to come out about it and I was like, fuck, it seems really good. And I saw someone on Twitter be like, millennials, this is what we needed. And I was like, fuck, I gotta
Oh my
watch it.
god.
So
Okay, I'm gonna
Kristen
have to
Bell is
watch.
also in it, which I love because Kristen Bell and Adam Brody are both like teen drama legends. I mean, Veronica Mars in the OC. Um, they both did Josh Schwartz shows because Kristen Bell did Gossip Girl. Obviously, she was the voice of
Yeah.
Gossip Girl. They both know they both acted with each other's significant others at some point. Like it's a very interesting dynamic. And so they're like friends first. And so the show is so good. It's about both their characters and how they're in very different stages of their like dating life and their single life, but then they meet. But Adam Brody's character is a hot rabbi, which is
Which I
so
just
hot,
love.
which is so hot. And he needs someone Jewish. And Kristen
Oh,
Bell is not Jewish. It's like
I
a
didn't
big
realize
part.
that.
Yeah, but it's also like figuring out because they're older, right? They're not in their
Yeah.
20s. So it's like, which is nice to actually cast actors who are like not in their 20s trying to find love. It was really
Hmm.
nice. But it's like them meeting, trying to find love, dealing with like family or friends or a job. And Kristen Bell and her sister do a podcast together. So it's like
Shut
figuring that
up.
out.
I saw
Yeah, and
that
the podcast,
they mentioned like watching Vanderpump Rules and how it's like
yeah,
a religious
a religion.
experience.
Yeah, like they do a podcast and it's called Nobody Wants This because it's about their dating life and they're both single and like
Oh my
slutty.
god. Wait, I
Yeah, and
love this.
I'm not saying slutty is like a derogatory term. That is what they go off of. They're like, we're
Yeah.
empowering, we're slutty, we're saying our mind, we're saying what we want. Like it was so good. And
Good.
I did see
Okay.
someone say like
I'm gonna have to get
the
Netflix again.
the portrayal of the Jewish women in this show was not great because you
Mm,
show like Kristen Bell's character is this really fun, like go with the flow girl that this Jewish man falls in love with, and then the
yeah.
Jewish women are all shown as like uptight and like mean and rude.
Uh,
They really overplayed the stereotypes of Jewish women, but may I just say it was beautifully acted. It was so funny. I went to school with one of my roommates was Jewish. I'm not saying I'm like an expert on Judaism or anything,
hey, Sarah
but
gave us the whole breakdown. I feel like
her
I know a
they gave
lot more
us
than I used to. And for
exactly.
everybody listening, Sarah's our producer.
Sarah's our producer, and she mostly told us about the religion, not the
Like
the
culture as much.
stereotypes and the
Yeah.
culture. But this like a lot of them reminded me of my roommate or my roommate's mom. Honestly, I've always said Jewish culture is very similar to like Latin culture in the sense of like meeting the parents and having to be a certain thing, and it's very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching my
Oh
grandparents
my
at points being
god.
like, oh my God, these Jewish people are just like my grandparents in the show. But it was so good. And I don't think the women they were portraying were even the enemies, like, or the villains. I think it was just, I get it. I get
Like the
it.
dating culture is the villain.
I get it. Why do I want to go to a rabbi who's not even dating a Jewish woman? I get that.
Mm,
I wouldn't want to go see that rabbi.
that does make sense, actually.
And is he going to give up his religion for this woman. That's not the plot, but you never know. So, but it was so good. It ended really nicely too. I don't know if there'll be a season 2 or not based off the
how many
ending.
episodes are there?
10. And they're
Okay.
all half an hour.
Oh, okay. It's more like sitcom-y then.
But it's like not, it's teen, it's like millennial show that we all watch. It's like, it's because it's not drama, but it is like, it's not, oh, the dog ate Dan Scott's heart, or like, oh, Ryan's brother came out of prison and Marissa had to shoot him. It's not that.
Stop.
But it's dramatic in the sense that it's like, fuck, that could happen to me.
Oh my God.
That
A
could
little too
be
close to
my,
home.
well, it was like, oh, dating, I've been on this bad date before. Or like, oh,
Yeah.
meeting the parents can always go bad. Or you could fall in love with someone you didn't expect to fall in love with. But then your
Yeah.
job gets in the way. Like, relocation's a real thing. Having to prioritize your job or not your job or your relationship. Like, what do you give up for a person you love? Because it's
Yeah.
easier when you're a kid. You don't have anything to give up. We watch these teen dramas and we're like, they're giving up their virginities and that's it. Now it's like, fuck, do I go, I don't know, on like a weekend trip with this guy that I should be, when I should be working?
Yeah.
But I
Or
like this
like
guy. How do I do
it's
that?
honestly like where you're investing your time now matters a lot more. It used
Yeah.
to be just like, oh, I'm giving up my Friday night with my friends maybe if I'm dating this boy. Now it's I need to invest my
Yes.
time with my friends, my family, my work, like
Am I
multitude
giving
of
up
different
my
friends.
house? Is he giving up his?
My
Like,
own time
so,
with myself, my
yeah.
sanity even.
Yeah, it's like, how crazy can I be in this relationship? But I'm not giving anything away because this was like halfway through the season, so things still happen. But
Yeah.
Adam Brody says to Kristen Bell's character and says, I can handle you. She's freaking out about how she's too much. And he goes, stop, I can
Ooh.
handle you. And when I tell you, my heart fucking melted because I've been told I'm too much. And I went, it was so good. Everyone watch Nobody Wants This. And you can think of me and Meredith as these like hot
Oh my
podcasters.
God. I'm going to
This could have
mentally
been our
spiral
show.
over that quote. Oh my gosh.
I can
Well,
handle
I
you.
actually
Okay, go on.
like watched a
Yep.
show that I think you should watch next because
Okay.
it's kind of in this similar theme. It's
Okay.
called How to Die Alone. It's on Hulu and it's about a
Oh, I've seen commercials.
it's so good. I think yours is probably better just because like we love Seth Cohen and like it seems like
Yeah,
it's
but
funnier, but
this woman is from Insecure, from Martha's Vineyard, the Insecure actor.
oh, she's also
the
insecure.
main actress
Just
is
kidding.
from Insecure. I don't think she's
Another
insecure.
insecure actor.
Another insecure actor. Yeah, she's from Insecure.
I didn't know. Well, of course I didn't
She
know
was-
that because I didn't even.
You
2
hate
years
insecure
ago, I
actors.
didn't
Yeah, no.
know that even was a thing.
She's on it and she's so good.
So the main character is like a single girly who is working at an airport and she's just like struggling with life, dating, financially, like kind of body image stuff. And in the first episode, this isn't like a spoiler because it's the whole concept of the show.
Yeah.
She basically like dies for 5 minutes and like has like this horrible accident and she like wakes up in the hospital.
Was it while she
And
was
it's
working
like-
at the airport? Because
No,
that's
no,
in the commercials.
She was at home. Her like best friend, it was her birthday, and her best friend like ditched her. And so she like basically died alone in her apartment.
On her birthday?
Yes,
Oh my god.
eating like her favorite food. It's so
Oh my god.
sad.
Talk about ways I'm afraid to die.
Don't worry, her neighbor saved her and the paramedics came.
Bless.
So she's in the hospital and she's like, all right, I got to change my life. Like, I got to stop being so scared. She works at an airport and is like terrified to fly. And so she just like starts like making different life decisions. And I just felt so seen because she's like an avoidant attachment girly. And every time she gets close to someone, she freaks out. And I was like, whoa, girly, I don't need to see this on my screen. I do this in my own
It's like
life as
looking
well.
in the mirror. Yeah. Ooh.
Yes, but it was like really cute, like heartwarming
Yeah.
at the same time. So highly recommend.
Well, have you noticed it's nice that we have more shows of like people in their like 30s either being
Yeah.
alone or having to find love and still not figuring it out. And like, isn't
Yeah.
that kind of nice?
Yes, and it leaves on a really good cliffhanger that if it
So there
doesn't get
could
a
be
season
season 2?
two, I will literally
We're
fight Hulu.
petitioning so that
It-
Netflix can
Because I need to know what happens. I need
Netflix
to know what
loves
happens.
listen, Netflix loves shows about airports. Never forget Manifest when we all
Well, this
petition
one's on
for.
Hulu, so like I think Hulu would pick it up.
Okay, I'm down. I'm gonna watch it so I can give it the views because I want
Yes.
Hulu to renew it.
Please, everybody. I don't
Amazing.
want to spoil it, but we can talk about it the next time we pick up
Oh
these
my
episodes.
god. Okay, I'm excited to binge it. Is that all you're watching? Should we
Yeah,
go on to
that's everything I
listening?
watched. Yes. Let's talk
Okay,
about
so
murder.
you got me addicted to Crime Weekly.
It's
Is
so
that what it's
good.
called? Yeah.
Yes.
I have to be honest, the woman sometimes drives me a little nuts with her questioning just because she'll be like, I don't know about you, but like, I think knives are scary. Don't you think knives are scary? But she'll like repeat it 12 times because then she'll be like, because knives can cut you and like draw blood, and then knives can be really scary, but they're also cooking utensils. Don't you think, Derek? And I'm like, let the man answer.
Okay,
Let
I
him
have a
answer.
question because
Yeah.
the Menendez murder or the Menendez
Oh,
murders is the
yeah.
only
Love.
one I've listened to. So
Okay.
in the murder like story that you're listening to, is
Yeah.
she also doing all the research and telling it to
Yes.
Derek and then he just pipes in?
Yes.
Which I like that structure.
I like it too. I wish she would let Derek pipe in a little. Like ask him a
Me
question,
too.
but don't repeat the question 12 times, girly. We got the question the first time. I listened to the Watts case,
The one
Christopher
from
Watt,
Colorado guy.
Colorado, where he kills
Yeah.
his wife,
Wife and
his
two
two kids,
daughters.
and his
Yeah.
unborn child that was his wife was pregnant
In
with.
utero.
Yeah, yeah. And then like also like dumped the bodies in an oil rig.
Oh
Like
my God.
wild. Derek, though, it was interesting to hear him listen about this because he has two daughters. And
Oh,
you could tell how pissed he was. He went on a rant at the end and he was like, this is ridiculous. But what I do like about Derek being on the show is
yeah.
that 99% of the times I'm going to be like, the cops botched the case. Because I'm not always pro police, okay? Spoiler. Um, I hate them.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
honestly, a lot of times they fuck. I mean, there's a lot to do like perfect, but they screw up a lot.
Yes. But I like hearing Derek because there was like a point in the Watts case where like the police wouldn't enter the house even though this
Mm-hmm.
woman was missing, but like the husband could go in, or like the best friend. And the girl that talks to Derek was like, why is that? Like, why couldn't they just go in? What if he's moving evidence? And Derek said because if they go in, any evidence they find, like
Is
because they
not
don't have a
admissible.
warrant and they weren't invited in, it's not like liable in a court of law basically.
Yeah.
So he was like, I think the cops played this really well. Like I would have
Yeah.
done the same thing.
That's why, and I mean, murderers stop listening to this, but for normal people, that's if you
Murderers.
invite murderers, cut out
Stop
now.
listening.
But for normal people, if you invite the cops into your home, that stuff is all admissible in court. But if
Yeah.
that's why you don't want to let cops into your home unless they have a warrant.
Yes. Yeah, and warrants take a lot of time
Yeah.
to get, so sometimes it's just better to make them get a warrant. But yeah, it was interesting that Derek was like saying that, and then he'd give examples of like a time he could enter a house. I just found it like really interesting to listen to the nuances. Because
Yes.
also I was thinking, because the woman then was like, well, what if I'm like I call 911 and I'm like choking or something, like can you
They
come
could
help
enter
me?
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's like, we have to have reason to believe that like you
You're in
need help.
danger. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was like interesting to hear him talk about it. So I listened to that. Did you listen to any other ones besides the Menendez brothers?
No, but I did not know their case fully. I knew that they
Oh yeah.
murdered their parents, but this is the first time
Cold
I've heard
blood.
their case. And I was shook at how much like abuse their parents did to them, both like
Mhm.
financial, psychological, and physical, or like sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Like jaw on the floor. But the way Stephanie, I guess Stephanie's the one who actually told the story. The
Oh, is
way
it
she,
Stephanie? Okay.
yeah, the way she tells the story, it takes you on a journey where I mean, the first 3 parts is basically about their life and their sexual abuse, which was just like horrible to hear about. But then, like, once you get into the nuances of the actual murder that took place, I did catch myself like flipping on like where I stood on like do they deserve to be in prison for the rest of their life? Like how much like what life circumstances do I believe could constitute like murder in a sense, and like how much consequences do you deserve for that murder? That's what I feel like this case is
Mhm.
they I full hearted like believe that they were abused, but Derek often questioned like how much does that excuse, like two wrongs don't make a right. Like
Yeah.
if it is premeditated murder, like that's also not okay. Like what other avenues can you do to get out of your circumstance? But then also, did the boys think that they were in imminent danger? Like that's self-defense then. It's just kind of like how much premeditation did they really do is like
Interesting.
such a nuance in this case.
Mhm.
Um, but one thing that left me thinking is Gypsy Rose versus the Menendez brothers, like the treatment they get is so different, but it's basically the same thing.
Wait, go on. What do you mean? How are they treated?
So well, first off, the Menendez brothers, their trial was in the 80s and all this happened in the 80s.
Mhm.
So a lot of people didn't think that like men could be sexually abused. So they
Yeah.
at first got like a lot of jokes from late night shows. And so a lot of people didn't believe them.
Mhm.
So they just thought that they murdered their parents, wanted the money, and like put this excuse together. So
Yeah.
that makes me sad. But in the actual like comparing Gypsy Rose and these boys, is that like Gypsy was abused basically by her mom through medical stuff, kills her
Mhm.
mom with someone else, and she gets to come out of jail after what, like 12 years, whereas the Menendez brothers are life in prison.
True.
So yeah,
Interesting.
I just
Well,
think people
listen.
praise Gypsy Rose a lot and like are cool with her like rehabilitation, but then you could never look at the brothers and be like, oh, like they could be rehabilitated.
Yeah, I think I need to, because I watch documentaries and there's something so, to me, like a little more sinister about the Menendez brothers, and I don't know
I
what it
can't.
is.
I know. It's for me, it's what they do after the murders and how they go. I did
Yeah.
not know that they covered it up so long
Yeah.
and that they like spent all this money
Mhm.
and were buying Rolexes. They spent $17,000 in like the 80s in a day at a jewelry store, which they said was like 40,000 of today's money.
Yeah, there was something so sinister about it that I remember being like, "Ew." Whereas Gypsy Rose seemed like pathetic opposed to like sinister, you know?
Yeah.
I would like to say though I for a little bit was like Gypsy Rose is out and she's having fire sex with that fiance of hers. I truly like never cared that much about her. Like I would never be
I
like,
just think
come
she
on the
gets more
podcast.
sympathy.
She definitely does. Um, I also think this might just be a nuance, but she made her boyfriend killed her mom.
Correct.
She technically was just
It
the
is different the way the
mastermind.
murders went down. It definitely is.
Yeah, and I think it also just has to do with how, and I mean, it's the 80s versus not the 80s, you know, like how the evidence is presented, how the case is
Yeah.
fought for. Like the way Gypsy Rose's case, it was like there were some people that didn't think she should go to prison at all, right?
Yes.
Like it
I
was
just
like
think she was more victimized. Like
she was.
her being a victim was more prominent and like respected and
Yes.
understood than like theirs. And some of that is the times, some of
Yeah.
that is just the actual acts
How they
that were
handled
happening
it
to them.
after. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I do think if it, I mean, this doesn't help at all because she's walking free. I think she's become more of a villain
Uh,
since being out.
and this might be a a hot
Hot
take.
take.
It may actually be something that everybody agrees with. I think she is a villain, and I do not think we should praise that woman and like have a show about her. I find it so odd. A murderer has a TV show.
Yeah, no, I don't like her that much.
No, I will never watch it.
Same. No, literally same. But I started, I need to finish. I think I have like 20 minutes left. In Crime Weekly, the disappearance of, I think it's Jennifer Dulos. Um,
Oh, Alicia,
what?
that case had me down a TikTok rabbit hole for probably 4 hours from midnight till 4 a.m. Like 3 months ago.
Oh, good. You're familiar.
Very.
Yeah, it's like I didn't know about it, and so I saw it was coming up on Crime Weekly, so I
I'm
was
going to
able to
download.
find like a Hulu special on it, and so
Yep.
I watched it to like
Yep.
get an idea of what the case was before I listened because I like knowing. And
Yeah.
it's so what's the name of her ex-husband or her husband? Flovis or something?
Yeah.
Flavis? Yeah,
I think it's Flovis.
Flovis, he is the worst.
Yes.
There was something, so again, it's like a rich town. It made sense. He was poor.
They
He
were in
marries the rich
Connecticut.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have
he's
what, like 4
jealous.
kids?
He's literally living off her father, trying to make, and then he's cheating on her. It's always the men who cheat and have a separate family. And then he's like, hey, you can't even stay in the house your father paid for. You have to leave. And she was like,
Right?
nah. And she knew. She was like, don't let my kids near this fucker. He's dangerous. And then she goes missing. You don't think we're going to turn to you first?
And then
Flovis?
they have him on camera dumping all this stuff all down the like main thing of town. And what's actually the worst part of that case to me, Alicia, is him parking his employee's car,
Yep.
riding a bike to her house.
Yep.
So fucking weird.
Yeah. And then he's like cleaning his employee's car without the employee's like consent. It was so
Yes.
weird. But the interesting part, this is why I love Derek. Flovis, I guess, like dumped a lot of stuff in different like trash cans, like
Hmm.
public trash cans, and the police like had to go dig through the trash cans. So Stephanie was like, Derek, have you ever done this? And Derek's like, it's actually really interesting. So the police go at like 4 a.m. before the trash could ever be like tampered with or whatever. And usually
Yeah.
they send the rookies because what you then do is dump the trash into the police car. You have to tarp it, right? Because they can't
Yeah, that
reach
makes
into the
sense.
trash. So they have to like pour it on a tarp, grab the tarp, put it in the police car, and then you drive away with this trash to the station. And
And then
that's where you
dig
go
through it.
through it. Yeah, you
Oh my
can't dig
God.
through it on site. So they were literally like
Because you
tarping
probably have to
all
take everything as evidence and then find what's in it so you can say you didn't plant it within the trash can.
Yeah. And like also you don't want to be on the street at 4 a.m. like picking through trash. So
No.
that was like really interesting. And Derek told a crazy ass story. I'm gonna tell it to you. So
Yes, please.
when he needed to be like, I think someone hired him, like a family
Hmm.
hired him and was like, hey, we think something sketchy is going on at our daughter's preschool. Like, she keeps bleeding in some diapers. So, like, sexual
Oh,
assault. So, which is terrible. But Derek, like,
gross.
had to go find out, you know? So
Yeah.
he like goes to this preschool and finds like the dumpster in the back where all the diapers are like thrown into. So he was, and like at this preschool or whatever, they have to sign like the people. So like if you and I worked there, we would have to put our signature on every diaper we changed. I'm sure is like a
Oh, that's kind of
precaution.
a good idea.
Yeah, so you know who's changing what diapers.
Yes.
But Derek said they saw the like dumpster, like this big giant dumpster. He called the public city, like city works or whatever, and was like, you need to move this dumpster to the precinct. And they got it at the police station. And he said they went in the basement with all of these diapers, laid them out,
Ew.
organized the
My
diaper by person. It's dirty diapers, he said, for like a week. But by doing that, they were able to figure out like
Who was
one
doing it?
person of initials, like it would start with non-bloody diapers and then it would get bloody as like some were bloody, some weren't. So they were like,
Yeah.
we think as the week goes on, because then the weekend would happen, right? So there'd be a break. And so they were able to
Oh my
figure out who
God.
did it and like figure out what other kids were being like sexually
Assaulted.
assaulted. And
Yeah.
like it was kind of crazy. But Derek also was like, because they were in an enclosed basement with like dirty diapers, they would have to leave every like 30 minutes to throw up.
Yeah. Oh my
I was
God.
like, being a police officer sounds terrible.
I really do respect the work of police officers who do their job and care for it. Like
Yeah.
it is very respectable work, but I just don't have a lot of trust because of really bad cops and
Yes.
the like culture of like keeping things secret. That's where
Yes,
like the
I
distrust
agree.
is. I really do respect the profession and how much the people, the good cops
How
really
much it
care about it. And
takes.
yes,
Yeah.
like this stuff you don't hear often. Because like
Yeah.
who's gonna come home and like talk about that? You're just trying to get through the day.
Yeah, it's really interesting because Derek, I do think, is just a good guy, period. Like watching him on Big
Yeah.
Brother and then like listening to this podcast. Um, but then like hearing what he has gone through, what he does, but like also hearing when there's like terrible, terrible things happening in these murders, how like upset he gets.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I love
Alicia, the
him.
Menendez one, he was
Oh,
talking
I
about
can't
how
wait to
like
listen.
upset he was. Like, I would go to jail if I found out my kids were being assaulted the way these people were. He was like, I'm willing to
Yeah.
say that. And he even like made generalizations kind of by accident. And so in like in episode 3, people have like called him out on their YouTube page. And so he like wanted to clarify and like
Stop.
he did so good of being like, you know what, I made a generalization about this topic, but here's what I meant. And you know what, this is something for me to learn and take with me as we continue to do these cases, that I can't make broad statements like these, especially about assault victims or assault cases.
I really just
He
love
cares
Derek.
so much.
He cares so much, and it's beautiful. Everyone go listen to Crime Junkies, or nope, Crime
Crime
Weekly.
Weekly. Yeah.
You can listen to Crime Junkies too. It's a good podcast. But I'm gonna be listening to this anytime
too.
I go on a walk. This is
It's been a
my
minute since I've been this much into murder.
same, and it's been a minute since I've been this like excited to go on walks. Like they kind of felt like chores for a little bit, and
You
so
got your
I'm
sparkle
like, I
back.
can't wait. I know that really long walk around Manhattan, the Great Saunter, really killed my sparkle, but I'm back, baby.
You know what? I'm back too because I started walking on my treadmill
Yeah.
desk this week too.
You did?
Yeah, I've been doing my
We're back,
morning
baby.
workout or like walk while I do my first hour of work, which I actually prefer to do it in the winter. Just the vibes are there for winter, not
Yeah.
really summer activity. I might as well go walk out like outside after work is what I think.
Have you ever heard of cozy cardio?
I have.
But she wakes up really early. This woman that started is like, we're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and we're gonna walk on the
I'm not
treadmill.
that early, but I do enjoy like I'll watch TV and do my treadmill, or I really like to do it when I watch my Kansas basketball games because when other people do
Ooh.
physical activity, it makes mine
Same.
seem not as hard.
That's why I like to work out to the challenge. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't watched it, because I haven't been able to do a workout, and that's my workout show.
I love it. And I'm so
'Cause of
anxious
you're
over
doing
my
it.
basketball games that like I need
Helps.
I need a productive exertion
Yeah,
of that anxiety.
I love that. Amazing. What a great wholesome episode from Canada. I'm gonna go to sleep though now.
Oh my god, our season finale. Please give your feedback. This is like our first 10
Season
episodes
finale?
of Also.
Oh my god, it's only been 10?
I know.
Oh my god. Wait, this has been so fun. Yeah, let us know if you like it. Let us know if you want us to like talk about certain things or what you want from us. We'll maybe do it. Also, leave a review. Thanks.
Please. But either
I
way,
think that's it.
thanks for joining. Bye.